Well, the people have demanded an answer and they got it. They said release the Snyder cut. And they releasing it. Doggone it, they're gonna release the Snyder cut. That's right. Yo, we are going to see what happens now. The Snyder cut is being released. The public has won. Zack Snyder, whose daughter committed suicide and had to take a leave of absence, and that's a painful thing to have to go through because you're not around that much. You're out filming movies, and doing your passion and your work, and you don't understand it. So it's a lot of healing that has to take place before you can even come back to work or even wrap your brain around what actually was happening and the monstrosity of what happened to his film. Now, everyone who seemed to have a problem with Zack Snyder's movies back then, because Zack Snyder has a history of making dark movies like Sucker Punch. It's great illustration, it's great at action scenes, but like Sucker Punch has some of the best action scenes and so detailed. It looked like a 300 movie with bullets and guns. But such is everything. The rest of the movie was trash. Oscar Isaac was outstanding, but the rest of the movie was basically trash. Now, yeah, well, I thought Richie was gonna be, the moderator and take care of that guy. Yeah, I left him for Richie. Well, so in the Zack Snyder cut, we get to see Dark Superman. See, the whole premise of the story was all wrong, and the direction they decided to go in was just awful. I could see the cuts that were made. It didn't make a lot of sense. That's what I'm saying. Warner Brothers don't know how to get out of their own way. But I can't blame DC, because DC they have these visions. It's the Warner Brothers people that screws it all up. DC got to work with them, and then it leads to all this nonsense happening. And that's why the film company is always in a standstill. It's always a mess. It's not one thing, it's another with them. Well, there's nothing to film. It's already done. The Snyder Cut has been filmed like 6, 7 years ago. Yeah, we finally get the Snyder Cut. And that's all I'm saying is give us something to work with. The Snyder Cut gives you something to work with. Oh yeah, the DC animated films are always better because now your imagination knows no limits. It's not bounded by money. You can go as far as you want. Oh yeah, I'm thinking this could lead more into the new Suicide Squad 2 that they're filming. And I think that's why he's trying to do this. To show what his vision was and where he was trying to go with it. Because, you know, Josh Whedon has got that going on. It was done visually well. It won an Oscar. Because actually the guy who did the lizard, the crocodile man, he was, man, that was the best artwork illustration I've ever seen. They won from him alone. What you want, BET? Why are you down here? Because I asked him to put me down here. Their problem is they didn't revolve it more around the Joker. They kind of made the Joker the side character. You can't do Joker and Harley Quinn and make it a sideshow. You can't do that. Zack Snyder got to know you can't do that because you use the Joker in all your marketing. People are going to go in and expect them to see the Joker and Harley Quinn. And you don't give them that the way they wanted to and just had the Joker pop in and out. That's not going to fly. All the scenes the Joker were in were great. Jared Leto, I had no problem with him playing the Joker at all. And it fit right into the Heath Ledger storyline. The Enchantress. What you mean? I had no problem with the Enchantress. I thought she was great as a villain. To be somebody who was meant to be one of the members, ended up being the villain, was genius. The only problem they had was the brother, the CGI unnecessary brother who costs too much money to have on screen. Let's just have him come around only when he's necessary. Show him up for the final act. He comes in just to complete a 3D scene that if you saw in IMAX 3D, it looked awesome. When he did the subway scene, when he shot, it like went right in the audience and the way it looked on the screen. So yeah, it looked amazing on 3D IMAX. But if you don't have the 3D IMAX at home, like everybody else watching it, it looked okay for the scene, but then he's gone and you don't see him no more. And the only reason he's not there is because they can't afford to keep him on there because he costs too much money. So if he costs too much money, it's better off you don't do it. It's best to not do it at all than to do it cheap, because then you cheat the fans. You get it? It's hard to say who played the best Joker because all people did different versions of the Joker. It's all about the writing. Now you could say Joaquin Phoenix played the best Joker because the movie was all about the Joker. So you got to see the becoming of him. Or is he the Joker? You don't know. Remember, the Joker said, and the whole origin of the Joker, he became the Joker after seeing someone on television, being inspired by somebody he saw on television. Now remember, he was on television and did what he did. Took out Murray, the talk show host. Now, the Joker became the Joker by seeing someone on television. We don't know how much of the Joker is insanity or truth. And that was the whole point of the film. Heath Ledger's performance of the Joker was different. He was an arsonist who just liked to see things burn. People don't understand that there's different levels to the Joker. His was about the burn of things. Seeing the world burn. He was an arsonist. And that was his version of the Joker. Some men just want to see the world burn. Every time the Joker did something, he burned something. He liked to blow things up. He liked to burn. See things burn. He burned all the money. He was burning everything because that's what he was. He's an arsonist. That was that version of the Joker. Heath Ledger version was the gangster. The one who controlled the streets, who controlled everything. Once he got out, he can seize control over everything. Everything was ran under the Joker. That's where Heath Ledger was going. This town is mine. This city needs a new criminal. All you care about is money. Why? I'm only burning my half. The Tim Burton Joker, the one that Jack Nicholson played, he was a homicidal maniac. He loved to just kill, mostly shooting people. He likes to party, didn't shoot him. He was a homicidal maniac. Where did they get a load of me? When is it releasing? Hopefully soon, because it's going to be a straight-to-video release. It's not going to be released in theaters. Everybody want to see the Snyder Cut. It makes only sense to let it go and give the people what they want to see. Well, DC is going to be, they got to deal with HBO now. They're going to be in the new HBO Now, which is picking up the, what's that? That Patrol, that DC, because they got the DC channel, which got The Boys, and it's got Doom Patrol, which is a great show. It's gonna get picked up now on HBO Now, so that'll be good. Straight up. Do I think it should follow the comic book structure? No, I don't. I think it can deviate from the comic books, because if you do it just like the comics, then everybody know what the damn movie is. Look at The Walking Dead. If you did The Walking Dead just like the comics, it can be close to the comics. Certain things can go to different characters in the movie. You always want to have your own touch to it. Respect the characters to a degree, but look at Carl. Carl is gone. Yeah, the movie was okay. It wasn't as bad as people made it out to be, but it was bad. It's the movie I don't even own in my library, so that lets you know how bad it was. The guy who played the Flash, Ezra Miller, he was great, and then they kept paying him to stay. They were going to do Flashpoint, which they should have done, but you're dealing with Warner Brothers, and they don't want to commit so much money to some they think might work, and let's stick Batman in it, and let's stick this Morgan playing Thomas Wayne, who was going to be Batman, because in Flashpoint world, Bruce Wayne is dead. He died in that alley. The little boy Bruce died. The wife became the Joker. She went crazy after watching Bruce get killed, and then Thomas Wayne became Batman. And every night he's trying to basically save his wife and stop her as she's terrorizing the city. And the Flash is in there. So Flashpoint is amazing. And they could have done that. That would have been an ultimate success. Then they were going to bring Batman in, because in Flashpoint, he had to go back to grab Ben Affleck's Batman to bring him to the future and talk to his dad, who was Batman. And he was a ruthless Batman. He was killing people. He didn't care. It was bad. And Gotham was way worse. He wasn't taking nobody in for justice. So he thought the only person that could bring him out of it was, and save him, was his son. And that way they had a moment where his son got to speak to his father. You know, while he was grown, he got to see his son. And he brought Batman back into Flashpoint so he could talk to his father and talk to his mom and tell him that in another world he's good. And it was crazy because the mom ended up dying trying to save her. Thomas Wayne was holding on to her on the roof, and she ended up falling off the roof. Like Juice, like Owen Bishop, Q and Bishop, brother. No, because that's why I want to see the Snyder cut. Because in the Snyder cut, this is where he meets his love. He ends up, like, she saved him, or he ends up accidentally saving her. And that's how they fall in love. Iris West. They had Iris West scene. They cut that out of the doggone movie. Warner Brothers, man, I swear, I could never work for Warner Brothers. Never. I don't want them to distribute anything. I don't want to work with their company. I'm like, y'all a headache. I can see the smallest things happening. They have paid for movies that have never come out. They paid Kevin Smith basically to write the Superman script. They love the script, and they finna make the movie. Next thing you know, Superman Returns don't get made. It goes back on the shelf. And Warner Brothers, after inviting him into the whole DC universe, he goes in the whole vault of Superman and how they're going to bring him back. Kevin Smith was the perfect person to bring him back. It was a perfectly written script. Now you can read that script for free on the internet. Brainiac was the villain. It was amazing. And they let Snyder do it. They got him from Fox after doing the X-Men. He came over and Bryan Singer. I'm sorry, Bryan Singer came over. That's the Homo Predator guy. So Homo Predator guy, Bryan Singer, came over and did his version of Superman and brought my Superman in there, Brandon Rao. He looks like Clark Kent. He looks just like Superman. He looks just like my man that died, Christopher Reeves. He looked like Christopher Reeves. He sounded like Christopher Reeves. That's Superman. No, it wasn't the worst. Superman in 2006 was actually great. That's the thing. It's just, I know what it was missing. It missed a climactic fight scene. You didn't have that. But it was all story, and the action that was in there was mostly, but that's how the first Superman was. But after that, Superman needed a villain to fight. But this is Warner Brothers' fault. Because, see, you can't make money off a film like that because the kids are going to fall asleep. The kids go see Superman. He got to fight people like villains or Electro Man or something. You got to merchandise. You know, Batman got the Batmobile. He's got the Bat Shield, the Bat Ray. They can sell those toys. That's where the real money's made. What they're going to buy from Superman Returns? Superman and some Lex Luthor and his goons. What are we selling here? The Superman home? Can we get that later? I don't know what we can sell with him. You know, there's no merchandising to sell. You need a villain who's got a villain crew. He's got an Electro Ray. That's why Batman versus Superman, you guys might thought it was average. I thought it did all right for what it was supposed to do, but it accomplished a goal. It merchandised itself. You had Doomsday, you had Wonder Woman, you got Batman, the new Batmobile, the Supergirl, the Superman's in there. He's got merchandise selling. Man of Steel, they had General Zod. They brought back some two girls and the other guy. They had the big machines that they brought in. They sell all that merchandise. So Man of Steel made them some money because you're selling merchandise. Plus, I have a very special Man of Steel movie ticket somewhere in a box. That's an amazing ticket, though. That was our access to get in, to watch it early. We had to have that Superman emblem. That thing was sweet. I gotta admit, that was nice. Krypton was a great idea. Again, a storyline that was created back in 2007 for Krypton to be shown. See, Zack Snyder was supposed to do 3 films. When he lifted the thing up out of the ground, the kryptonite, when that crystal was growing, the water and everything else, the Superman crystals, when they threw, because Krypton is nothing but crystals. The whole place is made of crystals. So when they lift that land up and threw it in space, it started to grow. And on the deleted scenes, you could see that they said in the deleted scenes that thing that they named it New Krypton. And it was floating somewhere around like Pluto or something like that. And it kept growing even in space. And it became New Krypton. But the whole thing is made of kryptonite. So Superman can't go near it. Superman 4 was a complete disaster. But at least they had Radioactive, man. That was like his first and only movie. Radioactive Man. Roar! Dun, 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 dun. Where's the woman? Give it up, you'll never find her. And Radioactive Man grabbed a woman and just kidnapped her and took her all the way into space. And she's holding. I don't know what you're gonna do. Take her. You might as well just take her to the moon with no suit on. She's in a business suit hanging in space. I mean, that movie made 0 sense. There were scenes that were cut out of the movie that would explain a lot of the choppiness of it. I think I've already done it before, but if you go back and watch it, then you'll see. I mean, Lois is too much trouble. She get herself in all kind of goofiness. I thought Lois had a death wish. I'm like, look, that woman got a death wish, Superman. She's smoking squares like crazy. It's time to give it up. Thanks, Alex. Joker's the highest grossing movie because it was a movie. Just like Batman. Batman was a movie. It was a film. This wasn't something that was just out for the kids. This was an adult themed movie. So they didn't view it as a comic book movie. Snyder Cut is out. Check it out. I'm out.